people who are coming from the perspective of talking about socialism and all this. I agree with that perspective, but there is not enough emphasis on the environmental sustainability of what are we doing to this planet, and so we need a comprehensive approach that takes into account the social relations between classes as well as the social relations between humans and the planet.
Sounds like the Green Party.
That's
like ecosocialism.
what is going to need for a sustainable solution.
It's ecosocialism, yeah.
So, talking about the American dream, I read this book on Indiana history, and he started out by explaining that, it's more than a coincidence that there's the word Indiana has the word Indian buried in it, The people from India, they're a different, anyway. But the point was that that was kind of ground zero for the invention of the American dream. And what they defined the American dream as, it was a shared national vision that makes practical sense at the local level. And the American dream is a shared national vision that makes practical sense at the local level. So this idea that the American dream is a car in every garage, that's just pandering to the auto industry by, people that want their campaign donations. I mean, it's like my sister's American dream is her own farm, with her livestock and whatnot. So while I was there, she made me milk her goat, just so I could have that experience in my memory,
That's fun. My friends were in States. They had a homestead in Canada and then way around the United States. It was a farm, a small farm that was sustainable, and they could grow their own vegetables and have cows, chickens and things. And they pretty much were sustainable, their lifestyle. And then it sort of metamorphosed, and now I wonder if the American dream, when I was growing up in Minnesota, it seemed like the American dream was, you have a house, a car, send your kids to college, and have a lake cottage up north, so it's hot, and go up there on the weekend. And, but now I wonder for a lot of people whether, because of this trend of everyone losing their jobs, whether in the future maybe the American dream would be more like having a meaningful job or any job. I'm sure the American dream has changed because we're much more urban now. Although there are people who can afford it, go back to farming, but you really have to have some kind of income in order to do that and survive. So that's not really. I don't really think that's the American dream now. I think people have lived in cities now for so long that they really would not like the really terrible, hard life of being on a farm. So, I don't know maybe we should ask people in this group what the American dream is for them. For me, it's having a small measure of security, a roof over my head, and having a job that I like, that, I can do. That's the dream for me.
Why do we have to limit to American dream?
Well, why don't we go around? I'll go next. Is that okay? And thank you for bringing that up because I have a hard time thinking of it as a dream. I think of it more as a world dream because I think we are more and more we need to see that we are so connected with one another throughout the whole world and nature. And I just think, for me, a world dream, which I would say is also my American dream, is just to live comfortably so that I have enough food to eat, friends around. I think it comes with age, too, I'm in my I think I would have said something entirely different. I would have wanted a home. I would have wanted that second car. I would have wanted, I just want to live simply so other people. I want to live simply so other people can simply live. That's my dream, and that's very, very important to me. And I wish we had more youth here, or some youth here, who could tell us what their dream is, because their life is the future community, and they have to stage something that I don't think we ever had to face in our generation.
Well, I think that's really admirable, and I think it's also a little bit utopian, because when I look at the world situation, and I see countries like Africa and many other countries who suffer huge deficits in terms of arable land and water supply that's available, not to mention incredible health problems and overpopulation problems, it seems to me highly questionable whether some of those places will ever even manage to live simply. They'll just be glad to survive and have enough food to eat. I heard a program on the radio yesterday about the grain supply in the world. This man maintained that the overall world grain supply, because of the change in climate, has already fallen 30%. And that is a serious matter.
That is. So when you put the world
very serious matter, and therefore your idea of living simply is more important than ever. But
how do we do it?
But whether countries like ours that have been wealthy in terms of arable land for hundreds of years and still have a moderate climate and enough water, whether or not every country in the world can achieve that, I really question.
Excuse me,
my turn now?
yes, I just want to mention, our speaker mentioned 2:30, and you got we have 2 minutes with him unless he extends it beyond.
Yeah, it should be going soon.
Yeah, but go
Would it be my
really
turn? Yeah.
Well, let him speak because he has to leave in 2 minutes.
Do you really have to leave in 2 minutes? Well, it's not rigid, but
So do you want to continue this process, or do you want to interrupt it?
Well, it started, so I think you should continue with it. Keep it brief.
Okay, well, I think my point of view is similar to what Janet said. When I was young, I heard this phrase, live simply so that others can simply live, and it really has always been very much part of my thinking. So to me, having a place to live, having friends and time enough to enjoy them, having income of some kind, having transportation to get to the things that I want. We in America, like what you were saying, we're so, I don't even know if I want to say blessed, but have so much that is somewhat realistic for me, and maybe it wouldn't be for somebody in another part of the world, but so I'll take that as my human dream.
I can wait, or I can go now. I don't feel I have to talk, but well, for me, a lot of it is what people have already said. I'd like to have a job that I enjoy, that does not harm others and hopefully helps others. I'd like to have housing that's reasonably secure and inexpensive, that it doesn't have to be a McMansion, something to live on. I'd like to have friends around me. I'd like to have transit to get where I need to, but I'd like to not have to travel a long way for things that I want to use. I'm trying to live that way because I've used a couple times. So many things. I'd like to have the world without war, where we see each other and other creatures on the planet mainly. So a lot of it is really it depends on what we're going to do.
What's your name, by the way? Madam.
That's okay. I remember
So I guess my version of the American dream is sort of similar to Valerie's, although I call it, a conveniently usable bicycle and enough beans and rice to get by. But I grow vegetables on my front porch, and I think of them as a spice in my diet. because that's really all I can come up with is kind of enough to garnish my food. I would like to be able to, grow more conveniently, but that's the area where I'm working on progress.
Unsustainable world. That's it.
I lived the American dream for over 40 years, and I don't really feel like that's my dream anymore. I think where I am right now is like on a little tiny shelf on the edge of the American dream, because I don't believe that that's going to last. The world is going to change a whole lot in a very short time, and it's hard to even imagine what a dream life could be in the new world. And so I'm just where I am right now. I'm enjoying it tremendously. I have a home. I have enough money to do the things that I want to. I have what I think are significant things to do with my time, and I have a wonderful family. I'm just going to say, that's nice, thank you very much, and I don't know what dreams will be.
Well, one thing about the Green Party, I think, is our values aren't economic. We want to grow economically. I think that's one thing I admire about the Green Party. Yeah, I said the Green Party isn't concerned about the value of economic, just material wealth and so on. And I think that's not necessarily so in some of the political parties. That's clearly not the case with other things.
Well, what's your idea of the world dream or the American dream?
What do you value?
Well, I think the freedom and the ability for people to participate outside their jobs and their family life like we're doing right now. So that they can express themselves in some way in the arts or in political ways like we are and so on. Having enough enough income and so on to be able to participate in the arts and in politics and education. That's all.
Yes, you're next.
Next, okay. So, I feel pretty fortunate right now because I feel like I have the opportunity to live my version of the American dream, because I've created this thing I call San Mateo Eco Village, and I'm like seeing lots of vegetables growing and chickens and bees, and we can grow a lot of our own food, and we support local farmers with a community-supported agriculture. I'm creating a community. We have 8 apartments, so I'm trying to create a place where people can grow together sustainably. I was also really fortunate because I was a teacher, and I retired, and I have a pension, which I realize is very untypical in this country right now. And I said when I retired, I wanted to be a full-time activist, and that's pretty much what I am. I didn't expect, like 20 or 30 hours a week for the Green Party, but, that's sort of what's happening. So I feel like I'm living my version of what I'd like to see for most people, and I hope to be able to teach more people about how they can live more sustainably in urban, suburban settings. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'm next. So, I thought it was supposed to be more of a personal dream, and I think I'm very happy. I have a happy home life with my husband, and I'm proud of my grandchildren. I would like to see them continue to progress, and they're doing that admirably.